This is a game in the Tier 7 Chinese Premium Light Tank, the Type 62. It's on Winterberg encounter mode. So one of the things that we've gone over, Ruinberg, Winterberg, all those different variations of what this map is in detail in the past. I just want to point out a few tactical things as we sort of proceed through this. One is that, especially in encounter mode, the south spawn spawns a little bit more to the east, and the north spawn spawns a little bit more to the west, which gives the south spawn an advantage to get into this neighborhood over here, so that's something that you should always take. And the west spawn has an advantage to get down into this area and also to get towards town. So what we're going to do in this particular game is do the 7-line scout. So what I want to do is drive up through here and basically crest this hill, a lot like, if we were playing Prokhorovka or something like that. And so what I want to point out here is, this is a concept that I talk about a lot in the stream. It's called what I call looking off a scout. So because they have a geographical advantage, right? They spawn closer to this point. Their light tank gets here before I get to him, so he has the advantage. So he's this is what I call, he looked me off, because I'm lit now. So as I approach this ridge to do my scouting run, people can get set up to shoot me, right? Whereas this Awful Panther is going to be more difficult for my team to shoot because he just suddenly appeared there. Now he's a little bit high on this ridge, which is something that we're going to be able to exploit. But so even though I'm lit, I still want to be able to do my scouting run over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get really close. It's a trap! So even though I'm looked off, what I want to do is I want to stick the edge of my turret over this ridge, right, which is going to minimize their ability to shoot me, but I'm going to be able to get some intel. Now again, I've already been looked off because I've been lit this whole time on the drive up here, so if there's any tanks set up in the back, they'll be able to theoretically set up to shoot me. But because I'm going to set such a low profile over this ridge, they're not really going to have that much to shoot at, and I'll be able to get a little bit of intel. I won't be able to stay out there for very long, but I'll be able to spot anything with bad camo, and I'll be able to spot anything that's slow headed out through this A line, which is gonna be useful intel given the where our team is gonna end up going, right? And then so this is all I really have to do. I don't really have to stick my turret very much further over here, and I'll be able to get some lights. So we pick up that T-32 in the back, the Tiger II, and we know that the A-43 is down in the middle. Okay, so we have some intel in terms of what they're sending down there. They're also sending a couple of tank destroyers, which I was not high enough to light, or they were through the bushes. So we know that they have a bunch of tanks in this E6 area. They don't have a whole lot out on this field area. See how we have this T-44 on the A line? We've also got the ISUs coming up behind him. So we're really strong on this 0 line. So that's something that we're gonna look to exploit. So these guys right here are fine. I mean, they're in a good position, and that's not really easy for us to break frontally because they have a lot of armor, a lot of health, and a lot of guns down there. But we still want to be able to take this wall, this north side of this F line, and we want to be able to try to take these tanks out. Now the thing is that what we want to be able to do as a team is be able to clear out this 0 line, because once we clear out this 0 line, we're going to get all sorts of shots down into this area here, this E line and this D line right here. So that's what we're looking to do, but one of the things we need to do first is poke their eyes out, so we need to get rid of this Awful Panther and these other tanks that are over here. And so you see our T-44 over on this 0 line is being aggressive, and I noticed that, and he's not, he hasn't lit anything else on the 0 line, which suggests that they didn't really send that much on the 0 coming up after him. So he's going to move forward and get shots, which is perfect. That's exactly what he should do. He's a top tier tank, right? And even if he didn't know what was there, he could be a little bit exploratory, and if he runs into tanks, and he can just go behind some cover and get shots from there. But since we've established the 0 line is clear, now what we really need to do, and what all these guys need to do, is go over to where this T-44 is, because this T-44 is going to start getting fantastic shots over here. So I'm going to cut out wide, and so what I want to be able to do here is, if there's anybody, any late slow rollers that are headed over here, I want to be able to light them. But I don't get lit by anything, and I don't light anything. So then I can just go over here and just get set up to shoot their guys. So now they've got a bunch of guys on this ED line that we're just going to be able to tee off on. So they got the Black Prince in the middle. Meanwhile, our town, we have enough people in the town that it's not too much of a worry. There's a 1945 that's also in the middle here, so we should be able to get both of these guys. And it's you'll notice that the T-44 and I can basically shoot these guys with impunity. There's nothing that they can do because we control the zero line. So even if we were lit, even if these guys did light us, we can still peekaboo through this cover. We can still shoot through these bushes and do a lot of things, which just basically makes it so that these guys on this D line are screwed, right? And so we're getting free damage, right? And so we have one of our T-43s headed out over here, which is fantastic. That's what you want to do. Probably wanted to do that a little bit earlier, but we'll take it. So we're able to clean that off really quickly. A lot of their guys that went down to this E6 area retreated west, but we've won the field so convincingly at this point that it's just a matter of cleanup from here. And then we can just push through the middle here. There's 2 Super Pershings in the middle, but it's not really that big of a deal. And now there's only 1 Super Pershing.
It's a trap!
And he's going to give me the side, so I want to shoot the drive wheel if I can. Just makes it easy. Then he can't shift around nearly as much, and that's pretty much the ball game. Okay, so a couple of things that we want to point out here. One, right, this is a complete ruffle stomp, right? So why? What happened? What exactly happened that caused us to completely steamroll this other team? So they actually got good scouting, right? That Awful Panther lit most of our tanks that were out here, the ones that were headed west and the ones that were headed out to this field here. We were able to get a little bit of intel, at least for their heavy tanks that were moving down the 6th line. We weren't able to do a whole lot of scouting. We weren't able to be more aggressive and take a deeper cut because we got looked off by the Awful Panther. And I could have gone deeper, but that also would have opened me up to a lot more shots from their team. So it's better to get what intel that you can for free, and then decide what to do with it. And then come over here to the north side of that F9 F0 area. Really important place to play crack kills if they decide to play over here. And then because we know that they had so many of their tanks on the E6 and on this north side of the E line over here, playing this zero line is a smart thing to do, where that T-44, the top tier medium, was aggressive, right? He moved across over here. He didn't sit out in the open where he can get shot by 1,000 different tanks. He moved over to this building. He started getting good shots. I went over there to get the same shots as well. And you'll notice that T-44 and I were able to just basically tee off on guys. So this is an excellent position to have, right? So once you take this north side, this F line here, you push through the zero and you get your shots. You just need to make sure that the rest of the zero line is clear, right? And then after that, by that time, we had taken away so much of their health that it was just all downhill from there, and just a matter of mopping up through the middle. So if we look at the stats. So anyways, as I was saying, you look at the damage on our team, really evenly distributed, despite the fact that it was a complete, we completely steamrolled their team, right? It wasn't one person that did all the damage. We have, like 8 people in over 1,000 damage in a tier 8 game, which for a team is pretty darn good. That's something that you would like to see from all of your teams. A couple of things to note: we were able to do quite a bit, right? We were able to spot a number of their tanks. We were able to do 3,000 damage in a very short game, right? This game was about 4 minutes long, and we were able to do 3,000 damage in a light tank, and that's because we were always active. We were always moving, pushing to be in a position to be on the edge where we could shoot tanks or potentially detect tanks. So anyways, I hope that's helpful for scouting in terms of being looked off and looking off people and how to use your turret to poke over ridges. You don't want to drive your entire tank over a ridge like that awful Panther did, otherwise people will shoot you or will be able to shoot you. If you stick all you have to do is stick a little bit of your turret face over, and that's good enough because there's a observation point at the front of your turret. And so that's really all that we tried to do there. And then, a strong zero line move against the configuration that they had was more than enough to just crush that side. Anyhow, so I hope that was helpful, and thanks for watching.